Paratici has been banned. And that's the headlines today for us Spurs fans. Hi guys, Jason here from totalozspurs, and welcome back to another video. And I'm going to talk all things Paratici. So it's come out now that Paratici has been banned worldwide. If you don't know, uh, pretty much he's been doing some dodgy stuff over at Juve, and unfortunately, it's caught up with him. It was going to be just I think it was just an Italy ban, but the courts have now announced that he'll be banned worldwide. I think it's for at least 2 years, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll double check that. Yeah, I think it's 2 years. So he has been banned by the FA. And what does this mean for Tottenham? In my opinion, I think it's a good thing. He has brought in some decent talent, the likes of Kulusevski, Bentancur, Basuma, even though we haven't seen the best of Basuma yet. Got a nice deal in Fraser Forster because he has done well for us since Lloris has been out, but he has done a lot of wrong. The likes of Perisic, I don't think has worked too well. Royal, don't know how Porro's going to go. I know it wasn't really his deal, but the whole Spence deal, he's had a fair few flops or ones that didn't make any sense, as opposed to a small few gems. And those gems he picked off the team that he just left in Juve. So I personally think it's a good thing. What it does is it removes the stigma that came with him, with the likes of his highs that he's recently had. Also, the stuff with Conte. It gives the club a little bit of a refresher, I should say, a bit of I would call it like a bit of mini reset. Basically, what this does means is that the next manager doesn't have to come in and have to deal with whether Paratici is going to be there or not due to his core issues, and I think the club just lets him go, if I'm quite honest, because if he's banned, there's no point having him. But people have pointed out that it could be good for the new manager, because if they bring in a new director of football, they can both join together, being fresh new ideas, open to talking. There's no stigma of Paratici brought in a lot of defensive coaches, the likes of Nuno and Conte. Before that, I'm not sure if he was here when Jose was here, but he brought in Nuno anyway. And he had Fonseca before we got Nuno. We had a lot of defensive coaches that were teeing up for the job at Tottenham, and I know that us fans would love to see a more attacking approach. And this could mean that we get a new director of football that might have a different idea or have the same ethos as what us fans do for the club. And we all know we want attacking football. I'm not saying that attacking football results in us having trophies. Obviously, you can win trophies being defensive. Look at the likes of Mourinho and Conte have both done it. But living in Australia and having to watch these games at all hours in the morning, it would be nice to wake up every now and then and watch an exciting game, on the edge game of football. Even if we lose, if goals are going in, it's entertaining. It's what we've lived for centuries, watching football. So I'd like to see that come back into the club. I also think it gives the players something. How can I put it? Something to look forward to, because they're not going to know who's coming in next. They're not going to know what kind of players we might go for, because Paratici obviously had his own profile. Used to look a lot in Italy, try to get a lot of Italian league players. But a new manager might have connections with different agents and clubs. So it's an exciting time if Paratici does get sacked. I think it's inevitable that he does. I don't think Levy holds on to him for that long. However, at this point in time, Levy has control over pretty much the whole club. We have no men's manager. We have no women's manager. No DOF. So all things considered, we might be going into the weekend. I know we've got Stellini as the interim, but we have no real manager who's going to be building a squad or an ethos for the next 10 games going into next season. So please like and subscribe down the bottom. Give us your thoughts, give us your feelings. Make sure you're hitting that notification button, the bell button down the bottom, so you can get all notifications. And if you haven't noticed in the title, make sure you're looking out for this movement. It's called hashtag Voice for Spurs, hashtag Change for Spurs. It's a collective unity of the YouTube community, which could also expand to the social media community of Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. It's a collective of Tottenham supporters and channels that want to make a change at Spurs in a most positive way, with everyone getting a voice. That's why it says Voice for Spurs. It's in its early days. I'm not going to say that there's going to be anything major happening. It's going to take a few months for things to be ironed out, for things to start processing. However, please make sure you're looking out for it. Make sure you're smashing like and subscribing. And as we always say here at Total Spurs, stay Spursy.